What is your will, my master?
Hey, what's up, Finn? Quick demo video for you for both of your sabers. I've got your Saberforge Phoenix here that I installed with a Proffie, and then I've also got your Saberforge Hunter's Creed that I installed with CFX. This is a little bit different from the regular Hunter's Creed I've seen. This was machined right here, and I've just never seen that before. I do have the leather wrap that kind of came off of it in transit. I'm not quite sure how to put this on and not get it all messy um, with the normal procedure that I do. So I'm just going to wrap this up and send it back with the saber. I usually use some 3M spray adhesive, but this is so small in width that that stuff would get everywhere, and I'm afraid of messing it up, so I don't want to do that. All right, but we'll go over this guy first. It's installed with a CFX, like I said, a 2-button setup. So I did use the 2 switches that you sent me. So your top is your activation, your bottom is your auxiliary. You've got stock V3 MPXLs in here. And then how you get to everything is just want to unscrew the pommel. You supplied most of the electronics. I'll go over it once we take the chassis out, but you'll see your speaker there. Just go like this a few times on your hand. It'll pop out like that, and then you can pull it out. It is a tight fit. It's a pretty tight fit to make this a removable chassis, and it just barely fits, right? But it does fit. You supplied most of the electronics for both of these sabers, like the boards, the speakers, the MPXLs. I usually have a policy that I don't use used parts, and I forgot to ask you if they were used when they came. So I didn't make a big deal of it. I went ahead and I used them. The speakers were used on both of these sabers before. So they didn't quite fit in the holders of my chassis, like a brand new one would. I tried to clean them the best I could, but they had a lot of glue from the previous install. I did go around on each one of these chassis. So on this one and the other one, I actually used some liquid electrical tape to cover the seal of the speaker, and then I went ahead and I sealed each of the speaker tabs too. So for all intents, this is a fully enclosed speaker. It sounds really good, right? But here's your CFX board. You've got easy access to your SD card. You can pop it in and out of there and never move it. And then both of these are utilizing Smuggler's Outpost Switch Pixel PCB set. And then the 14 pins are in there. You can just barely see them. You supplied one half of the PCB set on one of them, and then I got the other PCB, and then the other set I went ahead and I provided. Both of these on the battery compartments are super tight. It's the only way to make them work. So when you put your battery in, you gotta be super careful. You want to press down on the spring for your negative side. Press down as hard as you can when you put the battery in, and then snap the battery in. It will go in. It's just nice and snug. You had also sent this SD card with some sound fonts, actually quite a few. And when I went to plug it in and test it, the auxiliary button wasn't working. I troubleshot that for a while before I realized it just needed a forward update. So you're on the latest firmware for CFX now. Okay, now everything's working fine. But you get that battery in there. You put that chassis in any way you want. Just slide it right in. When you go to push on it, don't push in the middle of the speaker. Push on the sides. And then we'll take your pommel. I did put a black O-ring here on your pommel just to help you lock it in. So we'll put that in and we'll tighten it up. We'll hit activation. Lighten up. This thing is super loud. Auxiliary. Hold it for blade lockup. This saber has good sound resonance anyway, but taking that liquid electrical tape and sealing all of the sides of the 28mm speaker and pushing that sound forward makes it sound ridiculous. Right, so we'll go put a battery in. They both take 1-inch diameter NeoPixel blades. Just flash on flash. Color change. Go another sound font.
Sound bank selection.
Crystal focus.
I am a Jedi, like my father before.
It is obvious that this contest
Yeah,
cannot be
but-
decided.
The Darksaber. In order for her to wield the Darksaber again, she would need to defeat you in combat.
Spectrum.
There's a good Darksaber color. This particular font, you got to give it a chance to ignite before you start swinging it, and then your smooth swing parameters kick in. Blade locked up. Just like that. So this thing is mean and it's screaming. We'll go over taking the battery out because you won't be able to do that with your finger. Just come over here from the pommel again and open it up. Again, hit it against your hand, right? Once or twice, the chassis will pop out like that. And you can pull it right out. And then I use the back of my tweezers right here, tool like that. Come over here from the positive side by the speaker. And you can, it's hard to do on camera, but you can pop it out just like that. And then we'll put that back in the saber for safekeeping. Close this up. That's your Hunter's Creed. Now onto your Phoenix. I got the sound fonts on there that you gave me, but same principle for this guy, right? 2-button setup. Top is your activation, back is your auxiliary. One of the switches that you sent me I didn't use because it clicked down and it was on. Like, it's one of those that I forget what it's called off the top of my head, but it's the wrong kind of switch that you want to use for this. So I just replaced it, no biggie. So we'll unscrew the pommel again. You'll see your speaker. This one will pop right out. I did the same thing. I went through with some liquid electrical tape and I sealed all the speaker back here and then both tabs. So this thing is fully enclosed. Your Proffie board's right here. Now this is held down with a little bit of E6000. So you could pop it up if you need to. But I got this fonts on there and I got a copy of the config file that I use on your SD card too. So you should be good to go. The battery compartment on this one is tight as well. We'll put a battery in here real quick.
Sense much fear in you.
Snap it in just like that. And then we'll slap this guy in too. This also has a rubber O-ring on the pommel to help you lock it in. Very good sound on this guy too. Auxiliary. Twist off and we'll put a blade in this guy too.
Hello, Master. It's been a while.
I'm actually having some trouble with my blade because my blade's been sanded a lot. So if you have a brand new 1-inch blade, you'll have a lot better luck. This is the provided blade style that came with this sound box. The blade lock up right here.
Ahsoka Tano! Bo-Katan sent me.
It's like that. And we'll take the battery out of this one too. Same principle. You won't be able to get it out with your finger, so just use that same tool that you would have used on your Hunter's Creed. Pop the chassis out. And then again from the positive side over here by the speaker. Take it right out. And that is your Phoenix. Actually, that's both of your sabers. Let me know if you got any questions, and if not, I will try to get these out in the mail to you tomorrow. All right, thanks, man.